live from Soho, New York City. It's...
What is it, Phil?
It's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Yay, that's me. Hey,
I knew there was going to be a pop quiz.
It's, today's June 25th.
Yeah.
And we are here for another Wearable Electronics show. With me is Mr. Lady Ada himself, Phil.
That's right.
What's on today's show?
On today's show, we're going to have a lot of wearable electronics.
Yes! Yeah. I was hoping.
That's right.
I had my fingers crossed.
And if you want to buy wearable electronics for 10% off, the code is made with code. We'll tell you why it's made with code soon.
Ooh.
Wearable Wednesday.
Every week we show you what cool things people have made and some cool things we've made, and we talk about them.
Okay.
News and stuff.
Yeah, you have a big segment in,
I do.
In summer, in the summer section.
Get ready, everybody.
Component of the week.
A new component and why I like it. Today it's about power.
Okay. Next.
Or a new component and what you can build with it. And this is the material and why we like it.
Material spotlight.
This week it's some more wire. I know, wire, but it's some really great wire, so get excited.
All right.
The coolest wire.
And questions and answers. You have questions, Becky has answers.
When you have wearable electronics questions, this is the place to turn.
Yeah.
Put them in the comments and we will queue them up for a future show, making you eligible for the show's giveaway, which today is a Flora.
That's right.
So
okay.
if you have them, you can post them up anytime and we'll save them for a future show.
All that and more on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, let's do this thing.
Dun, dun, dun.
First up, the code is made with code, 10% off in Flora and Wearables expires 11:59 p.m. tonight. I'll let you in on a secret. It's for the entire store.
Whoa.
That's the secret, but now it's not so secret.
Not so secret anymore.
Okay.
So it's not just Flora and Wearables, but everything until midnight tonight is 10% off with code. Made with code. Why is that? Well, we're going to tell you.
Yeah,
so
it's Wearable Wednesday time.
Last week, there was this really cool launch event for the Google Made with Code initiative, which is a $50 million thing
over
for
the
next
of 3 years.
3 years to encourage girls to get into programming.
Yeah. I have some observations from the event.
Yeah.
Number one, it was a fantastic event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm off to the side over here.
Half a fill is no fill at all.
Yeah. And one of the things I really liked was the Girls Who Code group.
Yeah.
Every time they said on stage in the audience tonight is Girls Who Code. Woo, screaming, because I think that's important, because you know, the topic of like, well, do we really need a separate thing for girls and women for code? And I think you have to have a community.
Yeah.
And they were a group of people, a tribe that loved to code, and they were together and they had each other for resources, and it was really neat.
Proud.
Yeah.
They were finding, like, you know, social capital by having this togetherness about programming. And even though the whole event was, like, you can see this whole theater here was just filled with teenage girls, Girl Scouts, Lower East Side Girls Club, like all kinds of groups.
That was my favorite part, though.
This group in the middle, this club called Girls Who Code, they were shouting really loud every time.
Every time there was a name check, they went for it. And also the speakers were fantastic. The director of photography from Pixar was there. Megan Smith.
Director of lighting.
Yeah.
She does all of the lighting on all of the Pixar masterpieces, which is like what makes the movie in an animated film. So it's nuts.
Anyways, super fun night.
Super fun.
We had, there's Lady Ada.
So they built this really nice display for our pieces too. I was really impressed with them.
Yeah, did a good job.
There was like a gallery area, and they had a bunch of wearables projects from us and from Illuminate, that dance troupe, and then girls got to try on some of our projects. Here's a Girl Scout wearing our VU meter hat. Yeah. And here's a selfie I took in the mirror with Lamore, and the like nice little soffit they made for our Neopixel punk collar. And here's some of those Girls Who Code wearing their Girls Who Code t-shirts with the Flora umbrella and the VU meter. Really delightful bunch of young women, and a really fun energy event to be a part of. And it's all to celebrate the launch of this website and larger initiative, but the site kind of is the hub for all of this activity.
Madewithcode.com.
Madewithcode.com. Yeah. And here you can see the EL wire costumes from Illuminate, and Lady Ada's got a feature video with a lot of our wearables projects. Yeah. And there's all kinds of other fun videos and projects for girls to work on the site. So if you have a daughter or you are a teenage girl, any age girl actually, the projects are like good for boys too. But it's specifically to get more women into computer science, because their numbers are going way down.
Yeah, Chelsea Clinton was one of the speakers, and she pointed that out. She goes, it's one of the metrics that we're losing ground each year. So what can we do? I think one of the best things to do is to do a weekly video show with Becky Stern, a weekly video show with Lady Ada, and continue to have heroes and celebrate. If young people see someone they can imagine themselves being, girls or boys.
There you go.
Or whatever.
I was that girl in the computer science class where I was like the only girl, and actually Molly, who works here, her twin sister and I were the only girls in our computer science class in high school, and the teacher didn't even know what to do with us because he related better with young boys, and everybody was uncomfortable by our presence, and that didn't make us very comfortable either.
That's why I like the group that they have. It's like, you know, when you're, I think you're like a young teenage boy, you have like a bunch of friends that all kind of are into the same thing. Yeah. Having a coding group for girls, I think, is pretty powerful. So it was fun. Awesome, fun night.
Yeah, and a fun site to check out. So definitely share that and enjoy the cool projects they have.
Okay.
Okay, events. Upcoming here in town, NYC Resistor is going to do a series of wearable electronics classes, the first of which is on June 29th. It's called Working with Illuminated Wearable Materials. It's a no-coding class, and it covers EL wire and LEDs and Neopixels, but the Neopixels that you make would be like everything's, they're going to pre-program stuff for you. So it's no coding experience necessary. It's geared towards like people who want to go to Burning Man or costume parties and stuff and want to build some things. Then I found out I have some intel on the scene, whatever. I know people, they're my friends. They're going to do a programming Neopixels 2 session class later on.
That's cool.
In July. And then after that, a making party, like a make and craft, what are they calling it? Something better than that. Like
your inside scoop did not include everything.
You know, I can't remember the catchy names for things. Like a group making session, craft night that members of these other classes can come to and like work on their costumes, and there'll be some extra supplies there. So they're using a lot of Adafruit stuff, so that's cool. I may or may not show up at one of these events. Oh.
Okay.
And then last weekend, I did a workshop in collaboration with iBeam. It actually happened at SVA on an Intro to Flora workshop. So we have some pictures from that.
Yeah, I like that you take pictures of the workshop because this gives people an idea of what a workshop looks like that's put together well, that has all the people with kits and an overhead projector, and this is kind of nice. Sometimes it's hard to put together a workshop because you don't know like how to situate the room and how many people.
Right. I like a U shape, a horseshoe, so that I can walk around on the inside and like pop up into everybody's station. T came and was my assistant, so like she was also going around and helping like each person.
I think that's important too because usually there's like always some problem with like the IDE. There's always some problem with like I just hold on, and like it's hard to
or like do this step, and I want to make sure everybody does the step right. It's good to have an extra set of eyeballs. So the participants can each get individual attention and keep up with everyone else. So I also brought a bunch of projects from here to like lay out and let everyone like touch and play. And we had like a show and tell session before everyone got started with their Flora budget packs. And all we did was program one program one Neopixel. But the workshop was geared towards people who didn't know how to code at all or didn't know about electronics, but maybe knew about textiles already. So it was really fun. Yeah, that lab is cool. The lab at SVA that I teach in is super rad. And then there I met James, who's a sophomore in high school, who brought his capacitive touch sensing glasses flashlight with him.
Did you guys have a glass out?
I know, right? It's not Google.
They're glass fighting.
Like with lightsabers. Yeah. And he wanted to show me, they go to the next picture, he's got one of our toggle capacitive touch sense standalone breakouts and some copper tape and an LED and a battery taped to the sides of his glasses, and so he could just like touch it and turn on his little flashlight.
Okay.
Super cool.
Next up, this is a hat.
This is a hat. It's by John Peterson, and we spotted this one on Hackaday. John Peterson made these 2 hats called Seeker hats that have GPS and Neopixels and a compass. And they point towards each other. So he made it for him and his son at Maker Faire, so they wouldn't lose each other. Their hats would always be pointing the direction towards the other one, which I think is cute.
Next up. Oh, look, an Adafruit washed ashore.
Oh, it's time. It's time for our special summer wearable electronics segment, Phil.
Oh, no, the Adafruit's just catching some rays.
Yeah. I hope it's wearing some sunscreen.
That's right. SPF 1000 for us at Adafruit.
I wear SPF 1000. I don't know if you noticed that I'm the same color as the sand right over here.
All right. So these are projects that you put together. It's all stuff that you can make during the summer?
Right. So here's the deal, guys. We don't have a new original project today. I'm going to do a roundup of summer projects that you should make already, that you should already make if you haven't.
All right.
That's just the way it is.
All right.
I'm not going to make excuses, except I got sick, but I totally not going to make any excuses.
All right. First up.
Okay, so you want to get to the beach. You can make some wearables to get yourself to the beach. You make a skateboard, you put some LEDs on it. We have a guide for that. Okay. Maybe there's another way you want to get to the beach. You want to ride your bike. We have a stereo system you can put on your bike. Well, it's actually kind of mono because it's one speaker, but you can, an amplifier, so you can like jam out on your cruiser bike from your phone on your way to the beach. Yeah. So you're riding your bike, but you need to wear a helmet.
Oh, I see what you did.
So you can make yourself a city bike helmet that not only navigates you to the nearest bike share station, but also has LEDs on it for safety.
And if you're not in New York, you can program it to navigate you to any location.
Yeah, any location. And also we show you how to download the GPS coordinates for the bike share station in your city. So if you have bike share, you can make it do that, or you can have it navigate you to the beach.
Okay, next up.
Then if you're running there or walking and it's dark outside, maybe it's early in the morning, you should make a Flora motion-activated LED wristband.
Cars can see you, other people can see you.
Yep, okay. Ninja Flex 3D printing filament. Make yourself a cool blinky accessory to get yourself there safe. And then once you're there, you should make you should make it and then bring it. But once you're there, you can jam out on your tote bag boombacks. So it like has a flexible enclosure and the speakers go in the tote bag so that your bag is playing your tunes. You just plug in your phone. A lot of people have Bluetooth speakers these days you can bring to the beach, but like I would worry about it getting stolen if I were in the water or whatever. This way you can kind of hide it in your tote bag and have the beach bag play the tunes. Okay. Super cool. It has a solar panel too for charging the battery. Don't forget your pets this summer. If you're going on an outdoor hike at the beach or elsewhere, you might want to make this GPS logging dog harness, and that way when you get home, you'll have a fun map of where you went. Yeah. That's my dog, Olive.
This is funny.
Isn't she cute?
It's just like cyborg your dog out. It's
I really want to
summer.
We're gonna put lasers on her next.
Yeah. That's fine. We have lasers.
She already has like laser beam shooting out of her eyes. Yeah. Most people are afraid of my dog. She's really sweet. Then say, oh no, your cell phone battery is dying. Well, you can charge it up, because you have already built yourself a solar charging handbag, and that is the video we're going to show. It also has olive in it.
Okay,
indulgent. Welcome to the summer of solar. Why not soak up some free energy from the sun? You could build a solar charger for your phone and other gadgets and then attach it to your bag or backpack. It's practical enough for every day and really handy for camping or trips to the beach. Use Adafruit's solar live poly charger to charge up this beefy battery and then hook up the output to the Minty Boost, our popular pocket gadget charger. When you're out in the sun, or as long as your bag is, the battery's charging up. You can simultaneously charge your phone when the sun is bright, and the battery will keep supplying juice long after the sun goes down. Assemble your kits with flatness in mind. Bend all your tall components over before soldering. Pack everything carefully into an Altoids tin after making cutouts for the plugs with tin snips. Replace the plug on the solar panel with a 2.1mm barrel jack. I just cut the alligator clips off of this adapter. Save me for another project! Velcro tape comes in handy for affixing the solar panel to any handbag or backpack, and that means you can put it away when you're not using it. And in the Adafruit store, we have waterproof solar panels available in a few different sizes. As long as the sun shines, I can charge my phone or my mobile hotspot, and even use some of that energy to cool off a little. And don't forget that it's the summer of solar. We can't wait to see your projects in our weekly show and tell on Google+. And subscribe to the Adafruit YouTube channel for a new wearable electronics project every Wednesday.
Alrighty, and we're back.
Okay, we're just keep on moving. When you're at summer camp, you're gonna make these LED hair bows. They're going to be awesome. If you're at summer camp, I was in arts and crafts. Take it from me, a former arts and crafts summer camp counselor. Yeah. These would be a big hit, and then also
at night it'll get dark though. What do you do?
It will get dark. Yes. So during the day, you make a project that you can wear that night to a party or something. This are EL wire animal masks. So you build them on top of a bike helmet with wire, and then you put EL wire on top of it. We have a bunny and a triceratops, but there's also lots of others on the internet where we got our inspiration. Yeah. Another thing you can make during the day and wear at night, maybe at a beach fire dance party, is the Neopixel ring Bangle bracelet. we now, since we've made this project, we have lots of different sizes of Neopixel rings. You could kind of mix and match.
Yeah.
You could make a necklace.
All right.
Super cool. And then you can also make this armband for your Mini POV 4, so you can do some light painting just by waving your arms. Uses
nice.
NinjaFlex 3D printing filament as well as hard plastic for like the hard shell around the electronics, and then a soft armband. Neat. And then, you know, you wear all the tiaras because it's summer and you can do whatever you want.
Okay, but it's rainy sometimes during the summer, Becky.
Well, I don't see what the problem is. You just use your floor umbrella.
That's right. Okay. It looks like you have everything covered.
These are the 13 wearables projects you should make this summer.
Yeah.
And maybe not go to the beach.
Yeah. Why is it 13? Well, it's 3 better than 10, right? So.
I just picked all of the. I BuzzFeeded it for you guys.
Yeah.
Like I just like picked all the ones that I thought were cool, and then counted how many there were. And there were 13. And
13 signs you're doing these projects this summer. Like this would. I think this is what BuzzFeed would have.
13 things you didn't know you already wanted to make.
Yeah.
13.
Which of these 13 projects are you?
Take the quiz.
Take the quiz. All right.
I have some friends who work at BuzzFeed.
I know.
So, you know, we kid because we love.
All right, the code. I have the code hat too, by the way.
Oh, what's the code, Phil?
It's made with code, and this is the code hat. Every week, I'll ask an engineer because it's at night. I turn off the lights, but it's the code hat. So that's still the code.
Next week, I'm previewing for next week. I have a lineup of animated GIFs, includes your new code hat.
Okay.
Component of the week. We're moving right along. It's the Power Boost 500. Power Boost 500 and 500 Basic and 500C. So the Power Boost is a new line of Adafruit.
That's right.
You know, kits and boards we make that helps you power your single board Linux computer project, charge your cell phone, basically get 5 volts from lower than 5 volts. So you can use like lithium polymer batteries that are 3.7 volts to charge your phone and run your 5-volt projects, your Arduino boards, stuff like that. And we're making a bunch of different flavors. And so the first 2 flavors that are out are the PowerBoost 500 Basic, which is what you're seeing here. And what it has is a JST port for your battery, and it comes with a USB-A female jack that you can solder on if you so choose to make it so you can plug in your USB devices, or you can solder your project straight to it if you want a little bit of a smaller compact size. So then you can see the difference between that photo and this photo. Do you see it? Go back to the previous one. We're switching to the different product now. The 500C also has a micro USB jack.
I know. I know.
So go to the next picture.
Yeah, this is like my every Wednesday night. The micro Thunderbolt.
It also has a charging, or a power in jack. So that
I can go to the bigger photo.
So that you can have it plugged in over USB power while it's charging. Do you want to talk a little bit about the difference between these 2 products?
Well, so one, you can charge things, and one is just power.
Right.
And we have a whole lineup. So you can imagine there's different capacities. So we also have a 1000 coming out, 1000C.
Yeah.
So charging or not charging is kind of up to you.
Right.
So we should do the usual disclaimer about
so
charging.
What's cool is, and I wanted to talk about this in context of the solar charging bag project. That project has the LiPoly battery and the circuitry inside an Altoids tin that kind of like just sits in a pocket of the bag, so you can remove it for charging the battery, because we always recommend for wearables projects you never charge your lithium polymer battery against a textile. And that's because they can get warm while you're charging, and these are DIY electronics. Things can go wrong, and we don't want you to get burned or start a fire.
Yeah.
Personally, I have never been burned or started a fire with any of our wearables projects.
Yeah.
But that said, fingers crossed, knock on wood, you won't either.
Okay.
So charging and not charging.
All right.
500 and 500C. And the 500 is that they charge at 500 milliamps, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't forget, made with code's code.
If you would like to get a Power Boost 500 Basic or 500C, you can use code MADEWITHCODE to get 10% off.
Okay, material spotlight. You were freaking out about this before the show.
Freaking out.
I said, Becky, you're up here. I kind of need you here. You're a little too crazy right now.
So, also we installed the Stumptown keg of cold brew iced coffee today.
It's tweeting.
It's tweeting whenever anybody, including me, pours a cup of Stumptown cold brew coffee and then drinks it. without eating lunch yet, and so that's maybe why I'm up here and you need me down here.
Tell me about this other dimension you've oscillated into.
It's called caffeination.
Yeah. All right. So you're excited about these. Why is this the best thing in the world? This
material is a silicone-coated, stranded 26-gauge wire, and I know I'm one of the only people I know who gets this excited about wire, but up until now we haven't had something in the store that you could buy that does this. I had a sample of silicone-coated wire. The factory wouldn't sell to us, and so it wasn't in the store, and I'm struggling because I wanted to tell people to use this silicone-coated wire because it's great, but we didn't have it in the store yet. Now we do in 3 colors, red, black, and white.
Okay.
What it is that it's made for like super high voltage conditions when like the regular PVC shielding on your wire would melt. However, the silicone sheathing is much more flexible than PVC shielding. So that means that this wire is very lightweight and flexible, and if you need an extra little bit of oomph for power delivery, say in the sparkle skirt uses a little extra piece of wire, this is great because it's super flexible, you'll forget it's there. And in a lot of cases it can do that extra thing that conductive thread can't, where it's like insulated and it can cross over itself and it can curl all around. So for whenever I say don't use conductive thread, use wire, this is the kind of wire I'm talking about.
Okay. All right.
And you can get 10% off this wire.
All right.
By using
we got that code
made with code.
Yep.
Expires midnight tonight.
Okay.
Pick some up. I know I'm going to go get some from the bin right after this.
Question and answer is the prize is going to be a Flora, but let's get to the questions first. One of these people is going to win. So
yeah, one of you is going to win a Flora today.
First question. There's a few questions in here. I will navigate it. The first one is, what's the best way to go from conductive thread to a connector of wires of some kind? That's what we're going to do.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that first, and then we'll address his second little question.
Okay.
So I thought about your question, Matt, and there's a couple different ways. So we have a tutorial called Flora Snaps, and that's where you solder one half of snaps to a component, and then you sew the other half of the snap with conductive thread, and then when you put the snap together you have a nice mechanical and electrical connection. So you can solder a wire to one half of the snap and then sew the other half of the snap to your garment and then make that snap. That's a nice small way to do it. You can just stitch with conductive thread to bare stranded wire and fold it over a couple times, but I find that it puts a little pressure point and it might break the wire eventually. But that's the easiest or more straightforward without any extra accessories.
Okay.
The third way is to use alligator clips. So you can just sew a little pad of conductive thread and then clip an alligator clip to it, and that's a pretty good connection because it's spring-loaded. And if you want to make it permanent, you just stitch around the alligator clip if you want to.
Okay, that's a good.
Those are my 3 suggestions for your junction.
And you want to go back to this?
Yeah, this bottom one first, maybe.
Okay, components will be sewed into some. Oh no, this one.
Right. So he asked a question about his project, and we recommended he use the Flora.
That's right.
And then he said, I think the Flora is 1 pin short. I need 1 I2C, 2 UARTs, and 3 additional pins.
That's right.
And so while I don't have a circuit diagram of your project in front of me, the thing I recommend you do is to check out the pinout diagram on the Getting Started with Flora guide, because in addition to the pins around that are broken out for sewing to, there's also 6 pins connected to the ICSP pins in the middle of the Flora that are just like regular standard circuit board sized holes, and you can either solder a 6-pin header to it, or you can solder individual wires to it that then break out too, since you're already soldering. Those pins are also available, and some of them are connected to IOs that you don't have access to otherwise.
Okay, next up. This is from Nathan. I got a couple Gemma, and thinking about getting a Flora. What is the Flora capable of that the Gemma isn't?
Tons and tons, Nathan. Just so much. So much awesome. We actually made a video on this very subject, so I want you to, you're in YouTube already, so like just go up there and type in like Gemma versus Flora and you'll find it. And that'll explain a lot for you. But basically the Flora can communicate back to the computer. It has a lot more I/O pins. It has the ability to use our fancy I2C sensors, and what was the last one? It can act like a keyboard.
Yeah. It can do HID, human interface stuff.
Which Gemma can't. So check out that video, but...
MIDI.
Yeah, MIDI.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. More powerful chip, do a lot extra things.
It's also a little bit bigger. So it could potentially...
It's capable of...
It could block more light.
Yeah, it's capable of taking up more space.
It casts a larger shadow. Next up. When do I use 3-ply conductive thread versus the 2-ply thread?
It depends on the distance you're going and how many things you want to power. So the 3-ply can deliver more current, So if you have brighter LEDs or more of them, you would want to use the 3-ply, or you're going further away from your microcontroller. But the 2-ply is a little more flexible. So it depends on the weight of the fabric you're using too. Maybe you don't want to stiffen your fabric any. Or if you want to use a sewing machine, the 2-ply fits great in the bobbin of a sewing machine, whereas the 3-ply is a little bit too thick still. So some of it's practical, some of it's electrical. It's a really good question though.
Okay, next up. Any plan to make a wearable LCD or OLED display for Flora? And additionally, any plan to make Wi-Fi or Bluetooth low-energy Flora wearable modules? Yeah, I can answer these. So the so Wi-Fi, it takes a lot of power, so it's probably not the #1 thing on our roadmap. But Bluetooth low-energy, yeah, you can imagine a Adafruit Flora on the horizon. And then any plan to make a wearable LCD or OLED display for Flora? That's also a possibility. You know, OLEDs, they don't take too much power, and it would be kind of interesting. I guess the question I always say back is, can you describe some of the projects that you would make with these? That helps us figure out what and how, because we make a lot of guesses, and we're our own customers with this stuff. So we're like, here's what we would really like, but then later we do revisions, sometimes based on what people want to do or have done with the product. So send in your ideas of what you would actually use it for.
Because like we have, you know, our Arduino like shield for LCD display. It's like, it's pretty chunky. The LCD is chunky. I wouldn't put it on me, but the OLED is really small. We did do a dog collar project a while ago that uses our regular OLED in a wearable context. You can do it now.
It's just not round.
We don't see a huge. It's not round, and it's not easy to sew it with conductive thread. You have to solder wires to it first. But if you wanted to make like an OLED name tag brooch with our current OLEDs and Flora, you could go ahead and do that. Tell us why you want to sew that OLED, and we'll think about it. How about that? But yeah, Bluetooth low energy is on our roadmap.
It's now giveaway time. We're giving away a Flora.
Oh, we're giving away a Flora.
Okay, how do people get these questions?
You can ask in the comments of this show. That's like where most people ask. And I got all your questions from last week. Thanks. We just have so many good questions that I will get to your questions next week. I have them all in a folder saved up, I promise. You put them in the comments here, or on Twitter, or on Google Plus, or on Facegram to Snap to Gram to Book, and I will find them and screenshot them. You can put them in the comments on the blog too.
Cannot use Yo. You can't. You can't.
If you were to manage to make me understand what your question about wearable electronics was using Yo, I would be impressed.
Yeah. Well, if you use Yo to ask your question, there's only one answer. Yo.
Yo.
Yeah. So, all right.
That's how you enter to win. And because I only ask a couple of questions per show, your chances are pretty good. And I pick randomly from my Chinese takeout container labeled things. Very high-tech drawing system. And the winner this week is Joshua Ziegler. You asked about our plans to make more modules for Flora. Now you will have a Flora of your own to make projects with. You can email support@adafruit.com to claim your prize. I will also send you a message on YouTube.
Okay, great. Well, guess what, Becky? That's the show.
Yay! I hope you guys enjoy, and you're inspired to make some wearable electronics projects this summer. We have a huge library of them. Yeah.
The code is still made with code.
If you want to pick up any supplies to make your own wearable electronics this summer, now would be a good time to do it. Otherwise, next week we'll be back at the same bat channel, same bat station, same bat time.
Yeah.
I got that a little backwards.
It still works.
And if you have a project you would like to show off, we welcome you to join our Google Plus show and tell tonight at 7:30, followed immediately at 8 o'clock by Ask an Engineer.
That's right.
With Mr. Lady Ada and Mrs. Lady Ada.
Yeah. I am camera and soundboard operator to the Maker Stars. Good job. Okay.
I really want you to do the intro to next week's show in the Robin Leach voice.
Yeah,
please.
Maybe. Lifestyles of the people who build stuff.
Comment if you want Phil to do the intro to next week's show in his Robin Leach voice. And have a good week. Get out there and enjoy the outdoors.
Bye-bye.